All right, I'm Lieutenant Bobby Gomez. I'm the commanding officer of the Coast Guard cutter George Cobb, which is a 175-foot coastal buoy tender. So I guess if you guys want to come on board, we'll just kind of we'll take you up to the bridge, kind of tell you what we do and what our missions are, and just kind of show you some of the controls and show you the buoy deck. We can't go down there because, as you can see, we got a full deck load. We're getting underway Monday morning to head up to San Francisco to work some buoys, and to the district commander's change of command is that day. So we are one of the backdrop for that event as well. So just watch your step going up. This is Seaman Kuchaw from Brooklyn, New York. He'll also be helping me out, and you'll also see our engineering officer, Senior Chief John Jones, up on the bridge. So if you have any questions that you want to ask them as well, they're very knowledgeable, and just again, watch your step when you're coming on board.
This group here is the Santa Barbara Navy.
Okay.
Sean Decker was the CEO of the Blackfin.
Oh yeah. So
there's
so
a
you guys
great
know
relationship
Sean very
between
well.
Santa Barbara Navy League and Sean Decker,
Sure.
and they have adopted Blackfin and the MSD, Marine Safety Detachment.
Yeah. So I relieved Sean on the 11th. So I've only been here for about a month. So he's on the congressional affairs up in D.C. doing good things. So come on board. So have you guys been on board then?
No, we haven't.
Awesome.
Oh, I was hoping you'd be there July 4th.
For
4 days LA.
yeah, that's right. That was right before I took command. Actually,
That's
I reported that Thursday morning. They got underway, and they're like, nope. That's when they started. So this is the bridge. This is
Great visibility.
it's 100. Like I said, we're 175 feet long, and our beam is 36 feet. So the bridge obviously goes the whole beam of the ship. Which, if you've been on any of the other Coast Guard ships, this probably seems very roomy. And that's because it is. There's lots of space to spread out, and we're only a crew of about 25. So usually on watch, there's just the officer of the deck, and then the JOD, which is the junior officer of the deck, who's handling radio, radar, steering the ship if necessary, and then maybe a break-in or two in those two positions. So we're basically an optimally manned ship. We have one person down in the engine room, and then the two people on the bridge, and everybody else is doing whatever else they're doing, sleeping, watching TV, eating, or working out on the buoy deck. As you can see, if you guys press up, we have a full deck load right now, but it's about 2,000 square feet. So it's almost a really good-sized townhouse for comparison's sake when it comes to square footage. And basically, I like to think the magic happens up here because we got to drive the ship there, but Seaman Shaw will tell you it happens down there on the buoy deck. Basically, the yellow buoy laying on its side is an 8x26 buoy, which is 8 foot, 1,000 pounds, basically hanging over the side at the same time. In any sort of sea state, makes it a very dangerous job, and they really have to work hard on being safe and knowing where all the hazards are. In order to get that buoy on deck and gripe down and service safely and then back into the water. So it's a very delicate dance, and that is our main mission. Our crane is rated for 20,000 pounds, and then we also have an auxiliary whip which is rated for 9,000 pounds. You can't really see them, but because it's saddled down to the deck, but that is sort of our bread and butter. But we're also truly the multi-mission capable ships of the Coast Guard. We can do search and rescue. We can do marine safety. We have a vessel opportunity gear, which basically booms extend out from the buoy deck that can use to skim oil from oil spills as well. And then we can also do law enforcement. We could have our law enforcement team with our small boat, as well as ice breaking operations as well. These ships are designed to do 18 inches of ice just at cruising speed, and then up to 3 feet backing and ramming of ice, which obviously in Southern California is not really needed, but in the other locations that the ships are stationed, they do participate in that. So, did you have a question?
Yes, you said you were servicing the buoys.
Right.
It looks like it's just a one big part with that thing moving and.
Well, right now it's all stripped down. What you don't see is the lantern that goes on top, the lantern assembly, and then they're powered by solar panel, and then basically big car batteries, but they're more like marine batteries. They kind of look like car batteries that either go in the pocket, because see that one has a bell, or there's a battery box. If you look on that yellow buoy right there, just underneath the cage. There's a box under there. That's where the batteries go. But on a buoy that either has a bell, which is this like green one here, or a whistle, which is the red and white one, they actually go into those battery pockets. So you have to pull that out, put the batteries in, wire it all up, and then the lantern and the light go on top. So and then you have to clean it off as well, because as the marine growth grows on it, it'll weigh it down and eventually it'll sink it if it gets bad enough.
Recently we've gone a little bit more eco-friendly. We're switching to Comanas,
Right.
which is a solar-powered lantern that goes right on top of the buoy. You don't attach any batteries to it. This way there's no hazardous waste. It recharges. The life expectancy of these are a lot longer. So now we're doing away with the old style, bringing in newer technology, making things more efficient, a little bit safer for the environment.
And how often do they have to be serviced?
Well, now with some of them 6 months to a year, sir.
Yeah. The least amount is 1 year, and then all the way up to for aids to navigation, day boards and ranges don't have to be serviced for every 5 years. So a buoy is good for about 5 to 7 years. Usually 6 years is where the Coast Guard says is the normal release cycle for a metal buoy, and then our foam buoys are actually until they're no longer usable. So those can last for 7, 8, 9, 10 years, depending on what the kind of conditions they're in. So.
And how do you work with NOAA? What's the difference between the buoys?
NOAA has a variety of buoys. Mainly the biggest difference is the sensor package that comes on board. Like on the NOAA buoys, you have you seen those little handheld kestrels? They basically tell you like wind speed, relative humidity, they can tell you like true wind, all those things. Well, they have super basically instrumentation packets on the buoys that are out offshore that basically can read wave height, period, temperature, wet bulb, dry bulb, wind speed and direction, and that's the main difference, is that they have all those sensors in order to produce the forecast that they do, whereas most or any of your normal coastal aids do not have that. And their buoys are actually, their smallest is a 3-meter disc, which is probably about 2 of those. That just to give you a comparison, that's an 8-foot diameter. The yellow buoy there, the main hull circular part is 8 foot in diameter, and the 3-meter disc, so it's about 12, so almost not really close to double, but maybe another third bigger. And then they have 6 meters, which look like little boats, and then they have all the way up to 10 and 13 meter, which are humongous discs that the only way to get them out there is to tow them. So, and they usually when we do a NOAA buoy, we have about they're in deeper water, so a lot of times we have thousands of foot of synthetic line with little glass bulbs that are weaved into it in order to keep the line from sinking down in order to drag the buoy down. So, and we go out there and you set the aid, and then you drive the ship away, and then when you get ready to put the rock down, you get out of there as quick as you can, because it'll chase you back to where the ship is, because basically the sinker or the anchors, depending on what they're using, go straight to the bottom, and then the ship or the aid follows the ship, because that's where we're at.
Really, it's an amazing sight to see the yellow disc like skimming.
It starts. Yeah, they go pretty fast. So.
It's really nice,
So. And that's sort of what we do.
What's causing that to happen again? Is that
gravity? It's just the anchor. Yeah.
It's pulling the NOAA buoy. It's right by it.
Right. Because you have 2,000 feet of synthetic line that basically almost floats. So once you put the anchor and some weight down to it, it's going down to the bottom. So all that line is basically going taut, and so it's bringing it to get over the aid. So all the way up from Sacramento and the San Joaquin rivers, all the way down to the border of Mexico down in San Diego. So we are truly the only 175 that's truly offshore boat. All the other ones are mainly inland. There's 3 in Chesapeake Bay. There's 1 up in that basically runs Long Island Sound and around Massachusetts, and then there's 1 up in Maine that runs just sort of the inland waterways up in Maine. 1 that runs the inside passage up in Ketchikan, and then a couple down in the Gulf Coast. But they don't hit the things that we hit. We're truly the only offshore coastal buoy tender. So our max speed is 12 knots, so we're not really knocking down any barn doors, but it's good for what we do.
So you're not too far from home even here.
No. Our next trip is up to San Francisco,
So you're gonna get to see home?
no, but a couple friends gonna stop by.
What exit are we from? What's the Garden State Club? What exit from?
well, Vera's 40.
Want me to climb on one of those so you can see?
Perspective? It's a 12-foot boat, right?
12-foot,
Yeah, nylon line.
The sea lions get a little rowdy. We try to get on there to light tech them. As we're up there, they try to jump up and give us little nips, but we usually do a good job of, fending them off. They'll try. That's their home. We're just visiting.
That was like if someone came and picked up your house.
I wouldn't.
It just doesn't go over that well.
So there's been a couple close calls with a couple seamen getting bit in the butt, but we do a good job of.
Oh my gosh, do they do a hard bite or a light bite?
Well, I've heard of stories of guys getting bit, and I've seen them almost get bit, but it's like getting a little nipped by a dog.
I wonder if they're doing the nip like warning you or if they're going.
I hope they're not playing with their food. But,
Oh my gosh.
they do a good. It's a lot of fun though. It is a lot of fun work done.
Enjoy the rest of your night, and we're heading over to Eagle as well. So if you do think of any questions for us, feel free to ask us when we're over there. So thanks for coming aboard today.
Alfred, I'm the president of the Santa Barbara Navy League. Thank you so much.
Nice to meet you, Karen. Yeah, thank you. I'll go ahead and give you a quick lowdown on what the unit's all about. My name is Petty Officer Chandler. I am an engineer at the unit. I've been at the unit for 2 years, and basically my job, I work on the outboards. I pretty much deal with any part of the boat, except for the gun system. We have a gunner's mate for that, and we have a bosun mate that works on administrative type stuff for the boat division. There's several divisions to the unit. This is a port security unit. You have a unit security. Adrian, sit still. A unit security division who handles security of the unit. This unit is unlike the Coast Guard. It's a combat ready unit. So when we deploy, we go overseas into different countries. We set up camp, base camp. We set up tents, generators, place to eat, place to launch our boats, and we go to work. We supplement the Navy, the Army, the Marine Corps, whatever mission they do. And I just want to reiterate, we're not like the regular Coast Guard. We don't do search and rescue, law enforcement, combat situations, more what we do. And the unit has been a while since, it's been up since 1990, 95. When September 11th hit, they got underway a couple days later, went overseas and supplemented the Navy and the Marines and the Army to help out what was going on over there. So it's a serious job, it really is. And this unit is 90% reserve. I'm one of 6 active duty members of the unit. I'm here all the time, and once a month, 2 times a week, and some say 6 months to a year. We all get together, we get underway, we go deploy overseas. Once a month, 90 people show up, 90 reservists, Coast Guard reservists, outstanding individuals. They come in and they work on the boats, they train, and get ready for what happens overseas. In a nutshell, I mean, that's pretty much it. These boats, as you can see, they're small. They're meant for deployable operations. They're quickly loaded on planes. If you got all the information logistics correct, you put them on a plane right away and get sent to wherever you're going. That's the reason for their size and their lightweightness. That's pretty much it. I mean, if you guys got any questions? Yes, sir. I've been here for 2 years. Not yet. Yes, the unit has been overseas several times. They've been to Korea, they've been to Afghanistan, they've been to Qasr, these places here, Kuwait, Bahrain, Middle East, and Korea. So they've been around. And we went to Alaska last year for 2 weeks. Alaska was great. A full on everything. We took all of our gear up to Seward, set up camp, and pretty much we had an exercise where we had to escort Navy ships coming into Seward, and we treated it as if that was a real thing for us. And it's a big evolution. Tents, generators, all the boats, and not to mention, we used 2 C-5s out of March Air Force Base, and one of them couldn't make it up there in one trip. we kept breaking. The C5 kept breaking down. It was kind of a scary thing. I was in that plane. It took us. We got up in the air 3 times, and we couldn't get there. There was fuel problems. Sitting there in the seat, watching the lights go dim, plane come up. It's just nerve-wracking. So we finally got up there. Yeah, not a good day. So you have to think about when you're loading out. You have to think about what the essentials you need to get over there first. One plane made it. The second plane just took about a week to get there, and they couldn't really perform a lot of the mission because half of the gear was just not there. So that's one of the things you got to think about.
How many people in the unit? Did you say 90?
About 90 to 100, 96, 97 people right now. There should be about 147 people. So.
What size crew you have?
On this particular boat is three people. If you're out in country, it's about 4 people.
What kind of weaponry do you have?
There's two 40s, one here and one there, and a 50 cal on the floor with armor with a protection plate.
Is the boat set up to be lifted by helicopter and dropped anywhere you need to be?
It's got a hoist. These are the lifting eyes. We got straps for them. I don't know that it can be lifted by a helicopter, but there's a boat crane over there, and it's a 4-legged hoist. It's on one oblong link, and we hoist it up and drop it in the water with those straps.
So normally you use the C5 to transport it,
C5,
and then you
C17.
and then you trailer it to the ramp.
Yes. And we have a special connection for the tongs because on the C5, or actually the C17, the ramp's too steep, so you can't just back it in there. You got to use a forklift with special connections to lower it up and down, so it won't scrape the bottom of the floor. When the Air Force saw us coming with these things, it's your boat, it's your gear. Please don't mess up my plane. I hope you know what you're doing. So to them, it's a foreign thing. They don't really move boats at all. So when they see a boat coming, you got to know what you're doing, pretty much. The ball's in your court. Don't mess up my plane, you know. So
Thank you very much, Petty Officer.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your service.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for helping us today. Thanks for guarding us.
I was helping all of you.
How you guys doing?
Good. How are you? We're part of the Santa Barbara Navy League.
All right, that's where you guys from.
Yeah, that's where we're from. So.
I'm Simon Bakri from the station in LA, and I'm supposed to tell you guys a little bit about the boat. I don't know a lot about these 2 boats. I don't know about the 25 right there.
Okay.
But this one right here, we call it the OTH, over the horizon. They have it mostly on the cutter, on the Coast Guard cutter. Usually you see it over here, like the colors are orange, but this one is black because it belongs to the MSST team, and the primary mission is law enforcement, and they do a little bit of escorting now and then. And the top speed, I believe, is 40 knots on this one. And that one belongs to the end teams. It's aids to the navigation. They use that to go out there to fix lights on the buoy and other stuff like that for the aids to navigation. It's about 26-footer and a lot slower than these 2 boats right there. And if you guys want to come over here, I know a little bit more about it.
That goes on the cutter because it's orange?
That one's not going. So this one right here is our response boat. Primary mission, search and rescue, law enforcement. We do escorting a lot on the cruise ships. And we have 2 gun mounts for our law enforcement and escorts. Top speed 46 knots. The crew capacity 4 crew, 1 coxswain, 2 crewmen, and 1 engineer. You guys can come closer, by the way. 4 terrorists, threat, and stuff like that. Because
Where the cruise is, or just get them out of the harbor?
oh, the cruise ship will call the sector. Sector will let the station knows, and we pick them up either outside the gate, bring them to the port, or from the port to the gate. Oh yeah, this is just on trailer because we're doing maintenance on it. We have to clean it now and then. And the engineer work on the engine. The engines are 225 horsepower each.
Say top speed was 46 knots?
46 knots.
It's moving.
Where are the 240s?
Well, the gun mount is right here. One at the bow and one at the stern, but we don't put it right now because we put it in the armory.
They thought you might take it, shoot the seagulls or something if they left the guns on. Is that the why they take them off?
That's the reason why I said there.
Darn seagulls. Looks like it has to be fair weather. Not much protection on that boat. Only fair weather buses.
That's what the cutter has.
And then this one looks like it's made for inclement weather.
Coming to a hover here in just a few minutes. Once it gets in a hover, they'll be doing some rescue checks, and we'll get ready to deploy the rescue swimmer into the water. At this point here, the flight mechanic who's in the stationed in the doorway right now, he's getting the rescue swimmer ready to deploy to the water. And here you can see the rescue swimmer getting in the doorway. The aircraft is currently probably about a 30-foot height right now. At this point, the flight mechanic who's in the doorway is giving steering commands to the pilot as they move in closer to the survivor. And you can see the survivor just outside the rotor wash of the aircraft. In just a few seconds here, they're going to lower the swimmer into the water. Okay, the rescue swimmer has the...
The annual Maritime Policy Statement highlights the needs of each of the sea services to ensure that they have the proper training and equipment to carry out their critical mission. The Navy League's monthly magazine, Sea Power, provides news and in-depth articles that focus on the important role of the U.S. Sea Services to the defense of our nation. Whether at home or abroad, the Navy League provides support to our men and women of the sea services around the world. Local councils adopt ships and units, providing morale and welfare support and assistance to their crews and their families. Navy League's prestigious awards recognize outstanding individuals for their leadership and accomplishments within the sea services and maritime industry, promoting leadership, professionalism, and morale. Homecoming ceremonies and ship visits are special events organized and sponsored by local councils, as are ship christenings and unit commissionings. With the help of individual and corporate members, the sea services become integrated into the local communities they serve and protect. In addition to providing support today to the men and women serving at home and abroad, the Navy League always looks to the future, to today's young people and tomorrow's leaders. Scholarship programs provide financial assistance to the dependents and direct descendants of sea service personnel. And Navy League-supported youth programs, such as the Naval Sea Cadet Corps and Navy and Marine Corps Junior ROTC, give thousands of young people the opportunity to develop leadership skills, test their limits, and perhaps prepare for a career in one of the sea services. The need for a strong, vital sea service, recognized by Theodore Roosevelt in 1902, is no less today. The challenges facing our nation have never been greater. More than 100 years later, the Navy League continues to answer the call. Your support makes a difference to our men and women of the sea services who serve today and will serve tomorrow in support of American sea power. As one Secretary of the Navy said, "The sun never sets on the Navy League."